Yeah,
Can you
he's
hear us,
muted.
Ed?
He can't. Does he show muted on your end, Sam?
We can't hear him.
Or so can you hear us, Ed?
Yeah, he
Ed.
just sent me a text. Let me see if he can turn up his volume.
Do we have a phone in here that he could just use the phone?
You want me to call him?
Yeah.
He's checking the phone.
Okay. Like the old fashioned way.
Do you have his phone number?
Seeing a number? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are we calling?
Oh, yeah. Is that gonna be long
Are we
distance?
calling Ed?
Yeah.
You all set, Sam?
You heard that. And Bill, just know Mike Fortuna's on. Michael Fortuna.
Okay, hello, Mike. Oh, there's Ed.
Hi.
Hi, Ed.
Ed, are you back? Can you hear us, Ed?
He can hear us, but he can't talk.
Oh, what's the downside of that?
Oh,
None.
Did he flip me the bird? Let's see. Ed, can you get out and come back in?
I don't think that would help because he's not muted. I think it's just his
I think it's his mic, I think.
something on his end.
How far away is he down from you?
He's not that far. I'll tell him he could come here if he wants.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. You're good to start when you're ready, Jay.
Okay. This time I'd like to start the Park and Rec meeting for Tuesday, February 11th. And the time is what, 6?
Today's the
6 and change.
6:03. Isn't today's date? 21st.
21st, I'm sorry.
Yep, okay.
Can't read.
That's all
These
right.
glasses are terrible. Melissa, can we have the roll call
Here, Jay Batalico,
here?
Richard De Silva, Billy De Blasio, Eileen Francolino. Here. Tom Gill,
Here.
Tim Wagner,
Here.
Anthony Pawlowski, Matthew Pawlowski, Ed Marchand,
He's here.
He's here.
Nicole Payne, and Don Woods.
Here.
Mr.
Ed's gonna
Chairman.
come, before you get started, Ed's gonna come over here, so we'll see if we can figure
Okay.
it out.
Good.
Okay?
Sure. Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Can we stand for the pledge of allegiance?
I won't say anything because I'm,
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, guys. Okay. Can we have a motion for the minutes of January 17th? Any additions or subtractions?
Jay, I just have a question.
Yes,
For the Life Be In It extravaganza children's skinny carnival. Now, is that for all the kids, including Camp Sunshine?
Not Camp Sunshine because they're too small to be up. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
there's no additions or subtractions. Can I have a motion past the minutes?
Motion that we accept the minutes.
Any second, all in favor?
Aye.
It's passed. Okay, public participation. Public participation. Okay. Do we jump here?
What do you mean? We're at correspondence.
Correspondence, yep. Okay. First one, free waiver request for Mrs. Lavery for the Life Be In It extravaganza and 19th annual Peter Lavery Memorial Ride.
If that's just correspondence and under new business, you'll have that as a motion.
Yeah,
She's been doing it. This will be her 19th year and she's told us she's gonna go to 20 years and then stop doing it.
Okay. Any other questions on that? No. Okay,
Next correspondence.
yes, email from With their
Well,
band.
just an indication, I wanted you to know that we worked on we tried to get 13 or 14 military bands from across the country. Unfortunately, we didn't get any, we had some conversations and some negotiations, but nothing materialized. But certainly we laid the groundwork for next year. So we had a good conversation with West Point, but I think we'll get them eventually. Just wanted you to know we're trying to get free bands that are really high quality, professional.
Well. Letter from Lucy Robbins,
Yep.
library.
It was a thank you letter we did some gifts for them for their wine and cheese party and put baskets together. And we let them use the refrigerator and we gave them, I think, 11 or 13 boxes of wine that were left over from one of our events. So it was all good.
It's good. And email from Tara Pigno regarding the track field at Newington High School.
Yeah, just wanted to just share that with you. I don't believe that project's on anybody's radar screen. So I just wanted you to know in case someone said to you, oh, the principal of the school sent you a letter saying build a new track and buy land with Central or something. Novel ideas, but it would take a long time to do that.
Well, who's is that Board of Education?
I don't know.
Because I was wondering why you got the letter.
Yeah. I don't know if the town council, I believe, I don't want to speak for them, but I believe they think that capital improvement projects money is all town money. So from what I understand, the Board of Ed has big capital projects, they stick it in, the town sticks theirs in, and then it all goes to one town council approval. So, but we've seen the Board of Ed put money into projects like they shared with the softball field at Newington High, with the dugouts. They've shared in other examples. So I don't think it's clear cut. I really don't. We're responsible for all the property 10 feet from the buildings out. But then capital projects, I don't believe anybody put in writing. Unless Tim Maggie, if you know anything more than I, but
No, it specifies.
yeah, that's about the best I can
Find out.
I think it's sure. It works. Yeah, whatever works on it, it works on
Do you
it.
have any idea how much that track would cost to do over?
Depending on what material you use, there's Mundo material, which is out of Italy. I would say between 750,000, 1.2 million.
Just for the track?
When that was first done, well, last time it was done, there was money around, grant money to do it, but it was from Nike, so the school couldn't take it because at that point they were having some labor issues. I don't know if there's other places.
I haven't seen
around
any,
right now.
I
Yeah.
keep a pretty good eye on grant
Yeah.
money, that's for sure.
Yeah, it would be a cool thing if we could grab some, that's for sure.
Yeah, what's next?
Monthly report.
Mr. Chairman, the monthly reports and tree reports are pretty self-explanatory.
Melissa likes to type.
Yeah. She's good at it.
Boy,
Okay, now.
tree board report.
Same thing. We do a lot of trees, that's for sure, all over town. And it's going good. It's going really well. We have a group of guys now.
That's good. Preliminary master plan for Mill Pond Park.
Yeah, I think this was a response at last meeting. I told you I would get back to you, and I apologize. I had a brain freeze. I think I forgot about the two diving blocks that were on each side of the diving board in our plans to be able to teach diving in 12.5 feet. Mike Fortuna, who I invited today, and he was so graciously said he would come. He's the guy up on the screen. He's our TLB architect expert that I talk about all the time. He reminded me that we had two blocks to teach diving, and then the other blocks that we would use at 5.5 feet of water that's not recommended to learn how to dive in would be for competitive swimmers only that already knew how to dive. So I just wanted to show you that that was the game plan in writing. So I just shared that with you.
No, that 5 feet deep, that's legit.
It's
Diving?
legit if you're a trained diver, yeah. But if you're learning in swim lessons, or if you're learning to be a competitive swimmer, you would do it in the deep end first. Yeah.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay. This is the waiver,
What waiver is that?
life being for laboring, Mr. Labor.
Oh, yep. So again, we talked about this earlier. This is be the 19th year, and they're looking for a free booth at the Extravaganza and the 3 pavilions at Churchill, and that's, I think the value was $740. And we've done it in the past as long as I remember, and obviously it's a nice thing to do.
Bill, you wanna take a shot?
Oh, it's the same one. Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to authorize Newington Park and Recreation Department to waive the $55 nonprofit civic group vendor booth fee at the Life Being Extravaganza on Saturday, July 15, 2023, and the $740 non-resident facility rental fee for 3 pavilion rentals at Churchill Park on Sunday, September 17, 2023, for the 19th annual Peter Lavery Memorial Ride.
Have a second?
Second.
Any questions? In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Aye.
carries.
You're not in yet. Ed might be up and running here in a minute, so
Yeah, I think we heard him.
Yeah.
I think we just heard him.
He's with,
that was me. Ed's here with me though now.
Okay.
Back together
Two.
again.
Yeah, 2 IT geniuses.
That pair will beat any full house there goes.
Just missing the
Jay, you want to come help us?
Get me a plane ticket, I'll be right there. Next is the spring 2023 program guide.
Okay, so you got the brochure.
screen?
Yep, it's on the screen. I think it was sent to you. So we have a couple copies, Melissa just tells me, so that's good. And it's basically for you to peruse all the programs as well as the fees and charges for both facilities, programs, rentals, etc. And it's just a kind of something that you can put on a quarterly basis when Fadil puts the brochure together.
I agree.
Currently at the printer, so we don't have hard copies available yet. So at the next
is being recorded.
but we did print out 3 color copies. So if you wanted to look at it throughout the meeting, you're welcome to do so.
Should come out in the Life magazine. Also, there's going to be a nice article about Elliot Markman, our student who won the award, as well as Tony Palomino, who has been gracious volunteer for us and donator. So should be pretty nice. Should be a good Life magazine for us.
Tom, you want to read the motion? Got it? You're back.
motion
I don't know
to
if that's
accept the
us.
spring program guide, including the fees and charges associated with each event, program, and facility.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Billy, second. Any questions for Bill? All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes.
I'll turn my volume down. We're still working on this.
too close.
You're pretty impressive.
Well, you better hurry
Yeah.
up. We're almost at the end of the agenda.
Okay.
We adjourned a half an hour ago.
Yeah. Okay, now we're on reports. Newington goes country, June 8th, 2023.
Okay, so things are going well with that. Geico came forward and we had a meeting with Dave Johnson, great guy. And he gave a sponsorship all these years for Motorcycle Madness and decided, we told him we weren't doing it and he would gladly sponsor both Newington Goes Country and Food Truck Friday. So we're grateful for that. We also have a couple other sponsors. I think Cedar Ridge Construction will be coming forward also. So we have a few in the works that's coming out pretty nicely, but we have Southern Voice as a country band that plays at Cadillac Ranch. She plays half the year in Florida, Nashville, and comes up here in the summer. Very talented. So I think we're going to have fun with that. We have our line dance teacher, and I can't think of her name for the life of me.
Wendy Nielsen.
What is it?
Wendy Nielsen.
Wendy Nielsen. She's offered to teach line dancing to 3 songs on tape or on recording, teach everybody in the audience how to do some line dances, and then the band will come out and play these 3 exact songs live. So it'll be really fun. And we've got some animals. We've got Meg Sotter's bringing her horse, Farrah.
You know where your mind is.
Yeah, really, not good. And then we have the Blue Blocks are going to be out, train rides, hay wagon rides. So it's going to be fun. It'll be a fun country night.
Okay, next is the Food Truck Friday.
Yep.
June
Same idea. I think we have 4 or 5 food trucks. I think they reported this morning in the staff meeting, and same kind of ideas. And we have Cody Bondra in the Contraband band, who's now making it a little bit nationally. He's got an album nationally. So we're excited we have some good quality entertainment coming our way.
Next is summer camp licensing stand.
Yep, we took a pretty strong stand against it with our colleagues from all over 169 towns. Adil did a wonderful job in testimony on Zoom with, she did it, I did it, and Don Woods. Thank you, Don. All the way from Aruba. They didn't know he was in Aruba, but he testified by Zoom, and we tried to make an impact stating that, you know, we care about kids' safety, of course, but we're not going to, accept a bunch of red tape and paperwork and licensing and all this stuff about rules and regulations that would hinder our program. So we'll see how it all shakes out. You never know in legislation. It's they keep whacking at it in all different ways in all different places.
Any other questions, Bill? Okay, the next item is the summer concert series at Mill Pond
Yep.
Park and Municipal Park.
Yep, we got about over 30 concerts this year, and we've got ARA, what is it? Yeah, I know.
ARB.
No.
Some kind of American Recovery Act, something.
ARP.
Oh, there's another R in there. Yeah, there was another one.
ARRP.
So anyways, we've got about
Is it
15
an American Rescue Act?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Or Aruba Rescue Act. I don't know what the A stands for. But anyways, we have the concert set. We have one more band. I just met with Roderick this evening, and we have one more band in August to book, and then we'll be ready to put it into a nice looking flyer and get it out to everybody. But really good bands this year, really good entertainment, and I hope Newington will be recognized as the music town of Connecticut.
You having a ukulele fest in there somewhere?
We actually do on June 15th. We also have 35 ukulele players from the Connecticut youth.
Oh my
Gotcha.
Yeah, so thanks for asking. Yeah, we got it all. A grass skirt making.
No, sure.
Yeah.
You're so cool.
Marching kazoo band.
No kazoos yet. If you want to bring them, I'm still working on it. I can't find-
Electronic kazoo.
Yeah, I can't find anyone that'll come out with a kazoo. We're getting
They're doing that at summer camp. Like,
Yeah,
gonna march around their office.
we might have done it for Eric O'Neill's birthday today.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Bill, did you say you had one slot opened or?
Yep, we've got, I think it's August 12th or something. But there's 5 bands that he offered it to already. Whoever calls him first tomorrow gets it. If you have a band that's open,
Yeah, I've got 2 bands that contacted me, about it. So who would I
what they would do in January, they should call us immediately and send their press kit, you know, your contact information on the web. And then we put it into like a little committee and we try to determine who we need and what kind of bands we need.
Okay.
What's their two names? Do you know?
Peachtree Shakers and
Okay, but I was just thinking if I could remember them, Peachtree didn't come to mind for one of the bands he selected so far.
now, I don't know if it's just out of order, but whatever.
Yeah.
Back to the food truck Friday.
Yeah.
Now, what's, between, what else is going on besides the food trucks? Is there bands there that night? Or-
Yep, we have, that's the Cody Bondra and the Contraband Band. And then we have Blue Blocks, which is for preschool kids. And then we'll have train rides, jugglers, magicians, stilt walkers, and food trucks. That's about it.
Okay, now, as far as the Thursday night
Oh,
or the municipal, are those sponsored by people or each one?
I try very hard to get sponsors, yep, of every type of activity there is in return for advertisement.
Okay, because look, the fire department, Veterans Association, this year is our 70th anniversary. So we were trying to think of something to do, with the town or, and there was talk about a antique fire apparatus parade. And not that it would infringe on anything, with you guys, but I was thinking as far as food truck Friday, you're gonna have the beer garden open at that point. So I was wondering if if somehow we could include, us with that. But,
Anything's possible.
yeah.
I guess if you have only a few antique fire trucks, you could park them in the park and people can, go around them and see them. That's just, off the top of my head.
All right, well, we have a
And
meeting.
if you guys wanted to give like beer tickets or wine tickets to 50 of your members or 100, I don't know, 1,000 members, whatever you have,
Mhm.
we could work on a price that would be, a little less so that you could do it economically.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Okay, Thursday night, we have a meeting.
Yeah.
So.
And whoever, if you're in charge or whoever's in charge, tell them to call me on the phone and we'll knock around ideas.
Yeah, it's just, I thought of this, and then, I'm gonna bring it up to them, going forward. Now to the internet, or
Yep.
have we,
So I talked with Roger on Sunday and last night, and I guess Bill, you've been in contact with a rep from Frontier
Yes. And Roger.
and Roger.
Yeah, I followed up. I said, hey, Roger, these two guys, Tom and Tim got in touch with you. What do we do? And, he said, oh, it seems like on the hardwire side, he's good. He's fine. He doesn't have any worries.
Correct.
And then I wanted to make sure Frontier, the lady we used last year, was still happy and all that. And she was checking with her organizational chart and was supposed to get back to us.
Okay.
Have not heard from her since.
So what Roger told me was he's fine with come in, throw whatever wire we want to do. It's we probably, if we wanted to buy one of the units, and he said probably if you wanted to put it right in the middle, right where the pool is, because that's probably where the beer tent's going to be, then he can run wires, hardwire everywhere we want to go. But what the price would be, I don't know.
Okay.
So
When they call me, I'll say, hey, listen.
yeah, if we, now, is the beer usually where it was last year?
Let's see.
Mm. In June it is.
my thinking was if we did it right in the middle there, or if we put it right there, but then also the pool right there, if someone comes, they can use their credit card to, instead of having cash for the summer.
Right, but I think
In June we have it, up by the walkway by the pool, but then we move it down.
Yeah.
towards the playscape in July.
But I'm okay with leaving it towards the playground on those 2 days. Because he's got it hardwired to that pole over there.
Yeah, that's what
That might make more
yeah,
sense.
if we could get, if there's a hard wire over there, then we could get hardwire from there, to one of those poles right to the beer, because then you wouldn't have any issues with.
Yeah, the wireless part, I think, failed us a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Because there was too many people in the park. They were all using their phones, sucking up
Too much demand.
the bandwidth.
Yeah.
So that's okay. We'll work it out.
Okay, the next is Mill Pond Pool
Okay.
report.
Okay, so I want to give you a little history. Like I said, we have Mike Fortuna here, who is the architect and engineer and architect for TLB Architects. And I talked a lot about him and you're only an expert if you live 50 miles away. So nobody believes what I've learned in 44 years of Parks and Rec building pools and splash pads. But I thought maybe if you heard it from an expert, that would be more convincing or more a telltale of what's going on. And we can ask him questions too. But I just want to give you what happened in the last week, a week ago. I was kind of suggested to me that if I could find a new location for the pool instead of Garfield Street to go to the south end of the pond, between the soccer field and the pond, that I'd be more likely to get commitments from leadership to get the ARA money that Keith Chapman, myself, and Janet Murphy has kind of, set aside with the idea of having a pool built. And then, of course, you heard that Gary Turco, Kate Ferrara, and Matt Lesser are 100% behind trying to get us $5 million from the state bonding authority, as long as if we match half of their money. 2 years from now, the estimated cost is 10.6 2 years from now to build this whole thing. So it would be a no-brainer for $5 million plus $4 million of federal money. This commission 3 years ago believed in that. We had a shovel-ready project. We predicted that the federal government would come up with money for infrastructure. Lo and behold, they did. Fast forward, we also found out that now pools in park projects are part of the ARA money and qualifies. And anything under $10 million has no audit whatsoever. Every town in the country, no audit. So with that in mind, timing is everything in life, right? And so we thought that, boy, would $9 million or zero build the mail? Figure this out. So I said, okay, we'll move the pool. So all last week, we worked our tails off trying to fit it and do things. And I called the soccer president, the soccer former president, and looked at some of our stuff. Mike Fortuna was nice enough to try to call the geotech drilling company. And we didn't get that far because what we found out was the wetlands, the 100-year floodplain, the 500-year floodplain, and the 100-foot buffer, we couldn't fit that pool over there without taking away the soccer fields. And as we all know, taking away soccer fields is not a good idea. It wasn't a good idea before, doesn't seem to be a good idea still. We just put $50,000 3 years ago into irrigating the soccer fields and making it nice. And our park guys are doing a wonderful job. And it really does look like a nice soccer field now. And used almost 5-6 days a week, spring, summer, and fall. So it's a highly used facility. So I got that news over the weekend. We massaged it a little bit. And I said, Mike, would you be so kind as to put it in writing so that I could tell my town manager to make sure he knows what's going on? And we did send that to him this afternoon, I believe. And we carbon copied you guys in on it to be transparent and to let everybody know what's going on. So we're back to square one again, where we are back at Garfield Street as the pretty much the only common sense approach to making this thing work for a lot of reasons. One, the gym is right here in the community center and the summer camp kids. And the water table is a lot lower. At the playground, it's 6 or 7 inches. Oh, also, and then the existing pool was, some people wanted it at the existing pool. The existing pool, all of the wading pool and most of the big pool is in the 100-foot wetlands buffer, water buffer.
1 year,
Oh, what's that?
100 year.
Yeah, and the 100-year thing. So it's not 100% guaranteed that we could even do that in nowadays. 65 years ago, we didn't have these laws. Now we have the laws. So that's another issue. So, and if you, again, in the Parks and Recreation profession, you always build another pool somewhere else so you don't lose a swim season. Because if it takes 1.5 years to 2 years to build it, then you don't want to close a pool and not give swimming lessons and not have recreational swim during the summer. And as far as the parking, the people have said to me, parking at the library is a problem. The pool at Garfield Street, Monday through Friday, would be used by summer camp kids, which is they don't drive and they're all dropped off or bused here, and they use it from 7:30 in the morning until 5:30. And then the pool's open on the weekends, and it opens on Saturdays and Sundays at 1 o'clock. So, but on Saturdays and Sundays, there's no town employees here, so this whole parking lot is wide open. And that's another issue. And then lastly, in 2 years from now, the town is thinking of purchasing some property down the street that might have more parking. And they also have some ideas about relocating busing possibly. Don't know for sure, but that's some of the talk that's going on. So in 2 years from now, parking might not be an issue at all for that sake. So I guess I wanted to make sure everybody was up to snuff and we were transparent at what was going on, what we did. We were perfectly willing to try to compromise and move the pool to another location. We met with DJ, the fire marshal. I contacted the state fire marshal, Sergeant Moluki, and got permissions, verbal commissions, because we didn't want to not shoot the fireworks with a building over there, but that was okay if we asked for a modification and the town signed off on it and the state signed off on it. So that's kind of where we're at so far. And I just want to make sure everyone knows what's going on. And if you have any questions, Mike Fortuna's here. So if you have questions about the wetlands, the floodplain, he explained really very concisely to me that a 100-year floodplain doesn't mean every 100 years there's a flood. That means there's 1%, and a 500-year is 2%. It's 0.2% chance of having a flood. So, and once you do that, like when I was in my other job in New Britain, you can't have, in a floodplain, you can't have even a fence that would stop water and debris from coming through a fence or having the flood stopped by a obstruction that you built. So that's pretty clear on that situation. And then we looked at all kinds of things, the tennis courts, and those are halfway in the floodplain and the waterway and all that. So that's where I'm at. I wanted everyone to know what's going on. I feel strongly that this is a chance of a lifetime. Nowhere would federal government and the state pay for 90% of a town project like this. And I just thought that if we let this one go, we have a chance at really having egg on our face and really regretting this down the road someplace down the thing. So that's that. Mike, you want to add anything first?
I mean, you certainly hit all the highlights. I've got some graphics that if you want me to share the screen, I could do that and show you exactly what Bill was talking about. Give me 1 second here.
Well, while you're doing that, Mike, I just got a question. After listening to you, seems like there's a parking problem. And I don't see a parking problem because number one, where do they park for this pool? They can't walk. Couple hundred feet?
It's five, we measured it, Mike and I measured today, it's 550 feet from the existing pool front door to the front door of the new pool. It's not far.
It's
So
not
the-
far, so the parking shouldn't be anything then. If we
Yeah.
got parked already.
Yeah, you've got like 45 spots in that parking lot by the tennis court.
Yeah.
And 400 and change across the street at the municipal complex. And I know some of those are allocated for police and other things, but no matter where you put the pool in the park, those are your two parking options. So I'm not sure the location within the park has an impact on overall parking. But this map that we're looking at now, so this purple is the floodway, which is absolutely no chance of developing in. That's, if there's a flood, that's the water course where the water is rushing through. So you can't do anything in that area that would either increase the velocity of the water or raise the elevation of the water.
Okay.
As you zoom in, this darker blue is 100-year floodplain. As Bill said, 1% chance of a flood in any given year. There's some areas of the country that have had 400 or 500-year floods over the course of 2 or 3 years. So the definitions will probably be changing soon. But as it stands now, that's the 100-year flood plain. This lighter blue is the 500-year flood plain. This tealish color is the wetlands. And the yellow is the 100-foot upland review area. And so if the decision is that the soccer fields are going to stay, that's how much land you have to develop down here without special regulatory approval. And you might get regulatory approval to build in the 100-foot review area. So that would be it. So when you wouldn't stand any chance of getting the pool complex in this area. When you go uphill on the north side of the pond towards Garfield, the 100-foot buffer ends, roughly 110, 115 feet off of the edge of the pond. And then all of this area where we showed the development is clear and free. No special regulatory approvals required. So aside from all the other good reasons to be closer to Garfield, in terms of proximity to the rec center, access to utilities, better security, it's much easier and less costly to develop. There's no special regulatory impediments, and groundwater is much lower. So that's kind of the quick land use map. I'm happy to answer any questions about any of that.
How much space would it take to put the pool? There's 2 soccer fields over there.
Oh, you don't want to go there, Tom.
Well,
It's actually one soccer field now. They've changed it from
They've
2.
turned it, so it's,
They turned it the other way.
Yeah.
So on the map,
Full size.
the map you probably are looking at is not correct.
that's about what you've got.
Right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, well, we keep on saying that they can't, but you can. I mean, you can build another soccer field, somewhere else. And utilize that space. That was more important.
Are you familiar with the Mill Pond Group? The last time we remember, we were going to put Park and Rec over there. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a disaster.
There's about 1,000 families in soccer. And
Well, I'm not saying not give them back what they have.
We were basically saying the same thing the last time.
Yeah,
We were gonna take that field and put the community center and the pool potentially there. And where the pool is existing, they were gonna make that soccer and open space and grade it down to the pond, basically. It would have been an equal swap, but it was no way in heck happening.
And soccer has more spectators at times and is 3 seasons where a pool is only open 8 weeks,
Yeah.
So it's a big difference.
well, my question is, if you went there, you'd have a worse parking problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you put soccer anywhere in the main part of the park, north of the pond, north or east of the pond, you're going to have significantly more people driving to that event, and you're going to create a greater parking problem than you would have with the pool there.
Yeah.
So, Jay,
I have a question.
Go ahead.
You know where you drew your little striped figures there, the triangle and that odd shaped thing?
Yep.
How much bigger would that have to be to meet the demands of the design that you have shown us?
You need this entire soccer field area.
And that other striped area as well.
You could probably find a way to stay out of the 100-foot
Yeah.
upland review or close to it.
Okay.
You
And
might
then
impact it with grading.
Yeah, the other question I have, I'm not so good at reading plans here. Is there going to be some sort of path from the tennis court parking to the pool itself, to the pool structure, so that there's like some sort of like handicap path or something that, so people can reach there without walking on the grass?
Yeah, the master plan linked all areas of the park with accessible pathways.
Yeah.
With the pool at Garfield, not all of that had to be constructed in phase one. If you put the pool down here, you would certainly need to create those paths as part of this project. There's no way to get along the street, in no logical way. I mean, you could get there from, if you parked at Garfield and kind of came down around past the bus yard, you can get there, but then you've got to clear that steep grade by that grotto to get back to these soccer fields. So it'd be an awful long path. So you'd probably build some accessible parking down by where these soccer fields are near that gravel lot. And then the rest would be pathways to other parking areas.
I was talking about from the tennis courts to the new pool structure.
Yeah, you would need to,
To go over the bridge.
You've got a path from the tennis courts. You go straight down the path. You would connect the path to the new facility on Garfield.
yeah, wherever the pool is, we'll connect those paths.
Yeah.
But if the pool is down by with these soccer fields, we would have to create some accessible parking down there. We can't expect somebody in a wheelchair to traverse that distance.
Right. And the town engineer, Gary, who left, we talked about these spaces that we built on the community center to be right up near Garfield. So you could easily go down the sidewalk and cross the street to the pool. So that was always the intent also.
Yeah, the new pool is.
My question is, why are we even discussing that Mill Pond area where the soccer field is? You know that's never gonna happen. These people will kill us. You'll never get the pool there, I'll tell you that right now.
Right.
It's a political nightmare.
Bill, can you show us on the Garfield side what that little footprint would look like? If the pool was moved over to there?
Yep.
Because for the things that you said, but one thing is all the chemicals that are associated with the pool are pretty much in a terrible space right now near that water. And we've already contended with a spill of another kind, which was very costly, and that could be, I don't even know if they'll come out and fill anymore because it's so close.
Yeah, we have a letter from Salvo, a chlorine company that will not give us liquid chlorine anymore at the Mill Pond, because if there's a spill, their insurance will cover the environmental costs for the pond.
That's been a while now, though, right? Yeah.
hey, Jay,
Yes,
so just to sort of pick up on what you said and what Mike certainly has reinforced, I don't know why we keep having this discussion.
I don't know, Tom.
The best people in the business have told us there is one spot that is optimum to build a pool in Mill Pond Park. All of a sudden now we're going back to a total disaster area that could be considered over on the soccer fields. Anyone that went through that, me in particular, no, I wouldn't want to face that fight. And why would we want to put it there when it's inferior to where it's been recommended? I don't get it. Somebody has got to be against this out of this board.
Why do we spend $50,000 to find out where the pool should go? And now everybody's questioning it.
More than
I
that.
mean,
Even
these
on a
people are experts.
I don't
If
think,
we can't listen to them, who are you gonna listen to?
I don't think everybody's questioning. I think there's just maybe one or two people who are questioning it and making a big.
Well, I mean, here's the pros and cons. We just went through the pros and cons.
Bill, this presentation has been made available to all the counselors and to, to Gary and to Kate and to, Matt Lester, correct?
No, I only gave them to this board, James, Tim Mackey and Kim would be part of it, part of the email.
Uh-huh.
And James asked me, I filled out all the paperwork for the state bonding.
Yeah.
But gave it to James until the town council gives him permission to release it, I believe, is what he was waiting for.
We need to move our butts because, you know, that money, they're not gonna hold on to it forever. And if we hesitate and we don't give this money and commit to this project, we're gonna lose a chance of a lifetime. You know, and we need a pool. It's clear we need a pool. We need to get this done. And this is never gonna happen again if we don't like move it. I mean, we gotta get it going. I don't understand why, you know,
So
What do you need,
No,
what
we're gonna-
do you need from us, Bill?
I don't know.
I mean, if you sent
mean,
that out to the public and showed them the pros and cons,
Well, yeah,
in layman's term, 95% of the people would pick the spot and say, thank you very much for only charging us 1 point whatever,
Yeah.
instead of the full price.
Yeah, to me,
It's a
for the
no-brainer.
town of Newington, this is just something that you have to do. It's a no-brainer. It's good for the community. Swimming lessons are so important to young people. And then recreational swim. And listen, we're the only town that doesn't have a splash pad. It just, other towns have 3 and 4. They're building 5 of them. And unfortunately, we're in
Mine or
a,
yours?
that's yours. Or someone else.
Sorry. No, it's mine.
So I think I'm not sure what the next step is, except that the game, I think that it's in kind of James's court a little bit where he has to present it to the town council.
can we make a motion that we support this project and that we urge James to put it forward to the town council for a vote as soon as possible? That it needs to be done and it needs to be done quickly.
To allocate the $4 million.
Yes.
Yep.
And then the other thing I
At
would.
the Garfield site.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the
Yes.
other thing I would like to do is to clear up the fact that at the end of the last council meeting, one of the counselors said that he was certain that Mill Pond was fine and that the wiring was underground and ready to go for a splash pad. And I would like to clear that up as a very misconception beyond, like, I don't even know where anybody could make up that kind of.
Somebody said that at a council meeting?
Yes, one of the counselors. He was certain that the wiring was there already underground and ready to go for a splash pad.
Okay, I am unaware
Well, wait a
of
minute.
anything like that. Mike, under all your research over the last 3 years, are you familiar with any electrical underground for a splash pad at the old pool?
No, but electrical is not the big
Yeah.
problem there.
Why would we ever put a splash pad in if the pool could drop dead in the next day?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's just throw money away as far as I'm concerned.
So can we make a motion to support this this proposal here and put the pool where we,
Garfield
Garfield Street, and that we would urge James to present this to the town council as soon as possible with our full support and move on this quickly as possible so we don't lose our chance at this.
But the whole thing is the commitment of the 4 million,
Yeah,
because that's what the state
Yeah,
wants to
right.
see.
we need a
And then if that's the case, all we would have to do is raise 1.6 million over 2 years, which could be done in a capital improvement program.
Yep.
And I'm not positive, but I don't think you even need a referendum because it would be under that 975,000 every year. So it would be only done, the town would be able to vote based on the town council approving budgets. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Melissa, can you write that or kind of give it a little,
Yeah.
Hey,
oh,
hey,
you-
Bill,
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I'm sorry,
hey,
go ahead.
Bill,
Yes,
this is Ed. Bill, isn't there
you're gonna have significant cost overruns if you move that pool anywhere other than Garfield. Garfield, on a construction aspect, is the easiest, simplest way to build that pool in that entire park. You have very little issues with water tables there, like you would have in the lower areas. This is a no-brainer, even on, an engineer's telling you this, now somebody from construction is telling you this.
Yeah, and access to utilities.
Yeah,
Underground sewer, water, and electricity is all right here. So it's for the town hall. It's a no-brainer. On top of it, the town has, I think, a $75,000 grant from about 4 or 5 years ago to connect Willard Avenue and downtown with sidewalks and those flashing lights they use in West Hartford to make it safer to cross. And they have that ready to go too, as soon as they pave Garfield Street. So, yeah, yes, I 100% agree
You know,
with you.
for talking purposes, can we put together a price differential between Garfield Street and over there,
Just
somewhere
put it-
else?
Just put it to bed. It's not-
I wouldn't.
It's not an option, but
Jay-
the council's probably gonna say, what do you mean it's gonna cost more?
Let's,
I don't know.
the expert says it's not a place to.
I go
I
along
think
with
we defer
Mrs.
with
Franklin.
them.
Just creates more problems.
Let's go back with Garfield Street and that's it.
Okay, so here's the deal.
Don, you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely.
Why would you spend 10 million, $12 million to put a pool in a
That's not gonna
location
work.
where the
I agree
man that's
on.
in charge of building pools says that's a dumb idea? No, it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Right.
All right, so here's the deal. I make a motion that the board show its support for the original master plan of building the pool on the Garfield Street side, that we send our support to James and ask that he present it to the town council, asking for their sign of approval and their commitment of money to this project so that it can go to the state and we will have access to those funds as soon as possible.
Should we also put in there a recommendation of the architect as the best possible place?
Sure.
Yep, good, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, I'm assuming, I mean, you mean the splash pad too, when you say the pool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I second that.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay, the splash pad would go in place of the existing pool
No.
or somewhere?
It's part of this,
Oh, it's part of the,
because the state health laws
Yeah.
during the year, during the 8 weeks that you're open, you can recycle the water to save water and use hot showers from the bathhouse. So you have a fence corral to let people in the bathhouse take a hot shower, then go use the splash pad. Then on the shoulder months, April to June and August to October, you turn it into gray water and you irrigate the grass. So it's an economical and environmental design. And this doesn't throw away, it still includes the Carolinas solar panels on the roof too, that would help
Yep.
make hot showers economical also. And help with warming the pool water depending on the size of the roof.
Plus you can stay open longer too, correct?
Yep.
okay, I'm in favor of what you're talking about, of putting it there. But also, I also strongly, we have to do something as far as parking for this whole complex. All right, and I don't want to hold back this project.
No.
But if somehow utilizing the bus garage space area, okay, and it for parking there, take that building down, doesn't belong there. But there, you're looking at me like I got two heads,
John,
but
what goes the cost?
It's
well,
not ours.
I understand that. I understand it's gonna, but there is, there is funding. Okay, that's out there. And, at some point it has to be done. We can't operate this facility right now, all right? We have a TPZ meeting, all right? And we have to have somebody go out and save parking spaces to get the members parking spaces. All right, it's totally, that's ridiculous. And, somewhere there has to be a solution. And there was talk somewhere along the master plan had some considerations of moving the bus garage, correct?
But Tom, that's not our responsibility as Park and Rec.
What's the major overhaul? Is it basketball that's causing the parking problems? I'm not here when
Yeah.
there's parking.
I only heard
What,
that,
now you mean?
Yeah, well,
TPC,
when's that day?
what day is TPC on?
Wednesday.
Wednesdays?
I mean, it might be just as simple, this is just thinking, but if it's travel basketball and they're here on Wednesdays, park at the senior center and walk across. I mean, there's a stop.
Oh, you know what it-
And
No,
if
I
you're
know
using
that.
the gyms, park at the senior center.
Yeah, right.
I think I know what
Limited parking.
Tom, I actually think you won't have that problem. Eric O'Neill's, that was Emmanuel Christian on Wednesdays for their basketball and out of town people were coming. And he sent out an email to everybody asking the parents of the Newington kids to park down there and ask the teams that came from out of town to park elsewhere also. So that might not happen again. I don't know for sure, but I know Eric's trying hard on that.
There seems to always be spaces if you park down at the police station and come up the stairs.
Right.
Which is just as far closer of a walk than if you parked at the bus garage. So there's spaces available if people want to walk. They just don't want to walk. I don't blame them. I don't want to walk
Yeah,
either.
right.
But, there's parking there. It just sucks. You know, what are you gonna do?
But I know it's an inconvenience here in Newington, but I'll tell you, if you worked in the cities in Hartford, New Britain, Waterbury, man, you're traveling around or in circles for hours trying to get parking. I mean, it's a much bigger problem. We're just so lucky to have what we have. That's just the bottom line.
I agree that would be a great thing to have, but it's just not our backyard. Nobody's gonna give away.
And it may happen. You never know.
Someday.
Yeah.
Could they pick up spots all along Garfield on the south side, I guess it is? Like,
On that side?
yeah, there's like a half a lane there now. If they're gonna put the pool there, maybe we can grab 6 feet or more or whatever we need to have parallel parking all the way up on the pool side.
Not a bad idea.
Because that road is wide.
Yeah, I think outside the box, but I do believe in that 75,000. I think it's includes, and I'm not positive, so I don't want to be quoted, but I think it's that pedestrian sharrows. I think they're gonna try the bike lane.
Oh,
On
that.
Garfield. Yeah, to connect everybody together I think. I'd have to check on
The
that.
other problem.
Well, they
is
only put it
parking.
one way, right? Or is it both ways?
Normally it's on both sides of the road. That's,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
Maple Hill
Yeah,
Avenue is.
that's right.
Yeah,
And kids are crossing there, campers crossing.
Yeah.
Or whatever. They don't want
it's not a great place to put.
Well, no, you wouldn't park in the crosswalks, just like you wouldn't now.
Somebody crossing the park.
Tom, getting back to your question,
Maybe.
if you take the garage
If
down,
you're watched, yeah.
then the bus has gotta go. So
That's fine.
we're gonna create a whole nightmare here. And,
I don't think we should tie
that's
the
a
two
Board of
together.
Education.
Yeah,
No, I'm not.
I understand what you're saying, and you said, at the other meetings too. I do believe the town manager is talking with the superintendent, about ideas. I do believe that,
Okay, fine, but
but it's not,
that's not our
it's not
purview,
tied to
you
our
know.
thing, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you
Yeah,
this,
it's
as far as the
definitely-
grants, okay?
Yeah.
Is it per project? The limits, I mean, as far
The
as.
bus garage brings?
No, as far as this project here, we're talking about $10 million,
10.6.
okay? And the COVID money would be how much?
There's $4 million left, I guess, kind of from what, over the couple of years that they've been spending it on fire trucks and ambulances and those kinds of things. I don't know the total amount.
My problem is if you start throwing a parking lot and taking a building down, you're gonna lose the grant.
Oh, yeah.
No,
You're gonna lose it.
Yeah.
Not only that,
I don't want
we
to
don't
lose.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah, you're
own
going
that
there.
property, so the Board of Ed has to
Right.
make that decision.
So even if the buses went elsewhere, it's still not our land,
Right,
right? So
absolutely. I agree
what
with
are
you
you gonna do?
100%.
That's tough, that's hard. Make a great spot for a parking garage. Little two-story something right there. But it's
Well,
not
sir,
ours, can't do
Do we
anything.
have a second on your motion?
Yes, sir.
Any more of this? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion goes. Any other thing, Bill? I know we
That's a
had,
lot, yeah.
I mean, you know.
I know, it's crazy.
Thank you, Mr. Fortuna, that's a lot of good
Thank you,
information.
yes.
Sure, my pleasure.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it very much. It just, you know, he's not getting paid. He's been doing this for 3 years for us, 4 or 5 years, whatever. So,
Well, I just,
the only good news is the town put him in on his on-call architect and engineering firm. So that's good news.
Good.
well, you know, we hacked this all out, for how many minutes, meetings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've hacked this over and over and over again, and I feel like Don, if you're not gonna, I don't want it to get to like the town hall. This is what you asked them to do, we did it. Now what do you want to do?
Yeah, and I'm,
Don't come back with a redesign and move this and move that.
if the town, if the town lets this opportunity go, they're gonna have to build a brand new pool with
Oh,
a splash
absolutely.
pad in the future. Whenever the pools collapse, they're gonna have to do it. It'll be an emergency. Hopefully, no one gets hurt. And hopefully, the ramifications of not having a pool for 2 years will not drive people nutty. But if all that happens, then the town has to spend 10.6 million on their own money with no grant money.
And you'll say, how come you didn't think about this before?
Yeah.
The other thing that people don't understand is that there's two big reasons why people come and live here. One is the schools and the other is our parks and recreation program. So if you don't have any programming, you don't have any place for your kids in the summer, you don't have a place to go swim, people aren't gonna move here, and that affects your property value, and people don't understand that, you know, it's all the pieces have to fit together. That, you know, your house, people aren't gonna wanna come here if we can't provide the services that kids should have. And, you know, swimming lessons is a big important one of them. Swimming is the leading cause of death for kids, you know, until they're 3 years old, you know. We need to teach kids how to swim. They need a pool. They need a place for recreation so they can stay healthy.
Let's see where we go with this, that's all we can do, you know.
And if you guys have friends and know people on the council and people in the community, make sure the correct information is getting out there.
Well, you know, there'll be some stuff, well, geez, how many pools are there in town, but that doesn't teach the kids how to swim,
That's why we need this,
you know.
proposal to get out there and to get to the people and to get to the counselors and put it in their hands so they know, and to get to people like our friend who, I won't even say her name, but you know who I am, who thinks that we're building the Taj Mahal. This is not the Taj Mahal, it's a pool. You know, like they need to see this proposal so they can get it right and understand that we're not wasting money, that we're building something that kids will use and is accessible, and it'll be a great thing. It's a great thing.
Especially now, Mrs. Franklin, you know, compared to the 9.3 million for 1.5 million, that's quite a
It's
difference.
no-brainer. It's
You know.
we gotta move our butts.
And
That's
then,
the
Mike,
thing.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but when we started talking about this, didn't we start at like 6 or 7 million? Now it's up to 10 million.
Yep.
In 2 years.
Yeah, it's escalating, 4 to 6% a year.
Yeah.
And there were a couple years where escalation was 25 or 30%.
Yeah.
So
So again, it's just, and we're blowing about between $60,000 and $100,000 a spring, just doing crack repair on both pools. We're throwing good money after bad. And there comes a point where you have to fish or cut bait. I say it's time to, let's go cut bait and let's do it. Let's fish. So that's my pitch for tonight, and I appreciate you guys.
Well, my other suggestion, you know, to go along with the petition, okay, or the motion in the petition. Would it be for you to put together a project of how much keeping these pools a year cost? I went through Churchill. I know that was around $66,000 just for Churchill. Now, I don't know about Mill Pond, but
Every year is different though.
Yeah,
It's
I
hard
know.
to, like, we had a company come in where the Churchill Park bathhouse sunk 6 inches. We had to jack up the lolly columns because the chlorine ate the bottom off. That was 33,000. The filtration system sometimes could be 5,000, could be 26,000. You just don't know. Every time we open the pools in the spring, we sit there and go, holy cow, or we
what's it
had,
gonna cost us?
yeah, all the 10-inch pipes that were cracked under at Mill Pond, that was I think $10,000. So you just don't know. I mean, it's incredible.
Bill, would it be possible to, sometime between now and the next council meeting to offer our town officials a tour of Mill Pond Pool so they could see exactly how?
Oh, anytime.
I think it would be a great thing if maybe that would be like smack them in the face and say, look, this needs to go, I think it'd be great.
Well, I think, like Bill said, you gotta relate to them that these pools, both of them could go anytime.
Right,
Then what do you do? And then you're out of,
but if
you're out of
you see how
business.
bad they are.
And Mike, just so they can hear it from your voice, on this side of the visible side of the concrete that's all crumbling, and we're patching over patches over patches. I think in one of your reports that we handed out to them earlier stated that if this is what you see on the visible side, the water side and the dirt side is going to be worse. Is that correct?
Yeah, you're looking at the good side of the concrete. What's causing the damage is rot from the back of the wall. All that wet soil and the hydrostatic pressure causing the cracks and then pushing that water in. And once it gets to the steel reinforcing, the reinforcing rusts and then it jacks and expands, and then that's what's blowing out the concrete on the inside. But all that moisture is coming from the outside. In the summer, when you're in operation, the pressures are equalized because the pool is full of water.
Yeah.
But then you dry out the inside, the backside stays wet, and then it's physics. Yeah, wet moves towards dry, warm moves towards cold. So you've got, that's what's happening. So whatever you're seeing on the front is worse on the back. I guarantee it.
Thank you for saying that. And also, we didn't even talk about ADA issues. I mean, if someone wanted to call a 1-800 number to the Department of Justice, our pools don't qualify under the ADA, which is a celebrating its 33rd year of being signed into effect on July 26th, 1990. So it's crazy. It's just absurd what we're doing here.
Yeah. And you've got some health department and VGB issues that, you're sort of dealt with, but, it's not the way you draw it up for sure.
No.
What's VG?
Virginia Graham Baker Act. It's the main drain configuration to prevent entrapment in the pool, so kids don't get sucked to the drains.
And hair and
I just got one question. With your experience, what's the chances of a cave-in?
Oh, Jesus.
really?
I'm not in the business of predicting that, but what I can tell you is that when concrete fails, it fails spectacularly.
Yep.
It's not like steel where you could see it deflecting and bending. It's concrete. When it goes, it goes. But whether that's a year out or 10 years out, I couldn't say.
Nice try.
You're not a
But it could happen, so I worry about those things.
Yeah.
Oh, it's something to worry about. It is something.
Yeah, and there are tests you can perform to pin down, in more detail when that will happen. But those tests will cost you, you'd have to get a lab out there and you'd have to dig test pits, and it's just all it's going to do is confirm the pools are in failure.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for all your expertise.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, anytime. Let me know if you need anything else.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank
All right.
you.
Take care.
Preschool
Bye.
report.
Preschool, we've got What's that?
Billy was packing up already.
Oh, you gotta leave?
Oh, I got a date.
Yeah, good.
You gotta see the girls play tonight or what?
Just briefly, the preschool, Nancy Glynn's doing great with Jessica Fendelson
Well,
Coella. And anyways, we've got 13 families already signed up for next September, so we're really excited. We're starting to get good numbers. They've got open houses going on. 19 families showed up for open house, and they had a little family night. It's been going great. So everything that we predicted of moving the preschool from the church to here is really panning out for us, and it's becoming a very pleasant, wonderful staff working together. It's a fun time. Fun to hear the little kids.
I stole your dog.
Oh, clear.
He's all right. He's all right.
She wants to leave too.
Yeah.
What's next?
Pending sponsorship for upcoming special events.
Let's see, so if anybody has any sponsors like Frontier, we're gonna obviously try them. But there's a whole bunch of people that have been sent proposals. Sam, I don't know if you have any.
right now we have confirmed Geico Flood. They have both paid. Geico's doing Newington Goes Country and Food Truck Friday. Flood's doing craft beer night. Church of Christ on Center of Town is doing the Sundays on Wednesdays at the Extravaganza. Cedar Ridge verbally said they would give us a good chunk for whatever we want.
He might be the presenting, if everything goes right, he might be the presenting sponsor for the fireworks.
If all goes through, it's a very generous donation.
Mhm.
I sent a couple out. I sent to more attorneys today, Carter Mario, Brooke Goff.
And Happy Harry's
Happy
committed.
Harry's committed to donating the wine for our special and beer for our special events.
Yeah.
He's a new owner there, the
Yeah,
younger
yeah.
guy. Did you guys talk to him?
Paul.
Yep.
Yeah,
We gave him the award, the Building a Strong Community Award, and he's very happy, very excited.
recently I talked to him. He said he wanted to get more involved and
Yeah.
do more stuff, so. told him to call you.
And then Palasol.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and Mike Calasal, who is doing the Maple Hill Avenue construction, is an old friend of mine, and he said he's gonna commit to one of the events. So that's good.
And then there's others who've sounded interested, like Martin Laverio.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We sent them a letter. B&M, we sent a letter.
About Surgeon.
They're still paying for the sponsorship on a for the next couple of years. They're paying off that.
Oh, the.
Scoreboard.
So they're still.
It's a 3-year deal. They paid for 2 years.
Yeah, so they're still paying for the scoreboard, but they have.
Yeah.
been paying.
That's good.
Them and Cedar Ridge Construction, very generous. They both put up $7,000 each.
Yeah, that's great.
All good. All right. Anything else? Comments by the board?
Any comments
We
by
need
the
to go
board?
to the board meeting to the council meeting to express our, like, let's get off our butts and get this done, or like, how are we gonna do this?
I think that would be up to you guys as a board. I don't know if it's my position to, I don't know if I should be involved in that decision. That kind of not me.
Well, if anybody doesn't mind speaking at the council meeting, I would suggest that we go and say something, and even if you call in or write a letter to your favorite person, it can't hurt, letters aren't read out loud, but, they get a point across. I think it would be a good thing.
Yeah, I don't think it could hurt,
Right.
right? I mean,
Exactly.
it shows the board is behind it and wants to
Yep.
move forward.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Write a letter, read it, even if you don't want to go, you can read it on a Zoom, and read it over the Zoom, nobody sees you, so it's not like if your public speaking skills are bad, you can just get it done.
Any other comments by board? If not, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor, we're out of here.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Down.
See you guys.